Hello and welcome back to the British Football Guy. I'm not British, but my co-host is. Welcome back, Ollie. Ben. We're here back to talk about a little bit of a different take on a football game that either of us have got away with, thought about it. Now we're just going to spill some ideas. I think by the look on Ollie's face, his is probably going to be quite cheeky. But we will get into it. But Ollie, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, good. Just coming off the back end of a few fantasy drafts, which neither of them really kind of worked out the way that I want. Last time we talked, you said you hadn't even got involved in any. So
I'm in. We actually have I think we're going to do live draft when I'm back in Indiana for a wedding in a few weeks. So I'm in, and we're going to try to do something fun with that. So the end of my draft might be a little bit sloppy, depending on how much alcohol is consumed during it.
So if you just took everything about what you were saying and replaced fantasy football with sex with your girlfriend, how did that just fit kind of frame for frame perfectly? Like, I'm in.
I'm in.
If we, depending on how much drink we do, we'll see how it goes. Might end up a little bit sloppy.
Let's not bring Chelsea on the podcast anytime soon.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're in one, so then we can actually talk about how your teams are doing. I've ended up picking up Jalen Hurts in both of my drafts for the quarterback, and it's just it's tough. Like the one that we do with family and friends, it's 12 people, and the majority of the quarterbacks are gone by round 3. It completely throws you. Patrick Mahomes got picked as number 2.
Bold. It's very bold, but I understand. Especially when you're playing with people that aren't as far into fantasy. I mean, for me, I'm very average level player, but occasionally I'll still see a player go a little bit too early. I do like to be the guy that picks the first kicker.
Why?
I don't know why. They score a lot of points. If you get a good kicker on a shit scoring team, I have no idea what you just said.
Young Ho Koo for Atlanta Falcons. For me, the best kicker.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, I didn't recognize him. I like picking kickers from teams like previously what the Lions were, where they'd actually never found the end zone, but they kicked a lot of field goals.
Yeah. Matt Prater.
That's usually what I go for. Yeah, people with shit quarterbacks or, average-ish quarterbacks, but they're not the best in their division, so they don't really find the end zone very often, but they do find the other side of the field.
I actually go for my kicker strategy is looking for the oldest player in the NFL and picking them just so I can say I have the oldest NFL player on my team. Which was usually what Adam Vinatieri. It was your Colts kicker, right?
Vinatieri, yeah.
Vinatieri.
He was really good.
Adam, Italian last name. Also, just a little bit of a shout out. We went to the movies for the first time on date night at Alamo last Friday and watched Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Really good. Like,
this is a paid advertisement?
No, I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds, but I wish it was a paid advertisement. I don't think they need to be paying us, but to all our Chinese and Brazilian fan base, whenever it comes out, go watch it.
That one looks good, actually. I remember seeing some previews for that one. But I think the last movie I went to go see was Black Widow, and then I watched the Fast and Furious film. Chelsea and I like going to the movies.
Yeah.
Mainly just for the popcorn.
I remember when we used to go, just you and I, when my girlfriend at the time was in a different country, so we just date nights were replaced by you and I. I remember we saw The Martian. That was a good film.
Yes, I can't believe that you just used me like that and never admitted it to me until just now.
Yeah, well, there you go. Good use. Okay, let's get into this episode because this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. To kind of give some context, I remember playing Madden on the Sega Mega Drive, and it was my first game along with Italian 90. I think I've said this before. So that was 95, 90. I feel like it'd be 95 that I got the game. And it was a Madden. And honestly, no idea what was going on. No idea as a 6, 7-year-old playing that. But
Very fair.
I did love waking up to watch, American football just because of like Washington, the Redskins logo, the Cowboys, all the names were just really cool. But Madden for me, I like it. I'll buy it every so often. I'm not like a kind of a. I do the same with NBA 2K. It's just like maybe once every 3 years I'll get one.
You don't need the updated stats, basically.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
no longer playing with like Jason Witten as your starting tight end and things like that. So, and then Peyton Manning. So, I think there's room for another game, and I think how you can't have monopolies in companies in real world. There are monopolies in esports and sports, and Madden is a complete monopoly on it. So in today's episode, Ben and I have prepared a competing game for Madden. Did I go first last time when we did, what was it?
I think you made me go first.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that's fair. So I'll go first
Yeah.
on this one and kind of give you so it's on the PC. The platform is PC.
PC, you're just gonna gatekeep all the other console players right off the bat.
Well, Madden's there, right? So if you go to
you're right.
PC,
Okay, this is the competing version. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just another football game. For me,
Yeah.
Madden is what I don't like about Madden is I think I've got one where maybe it's a couple of who's on the front of the cover. I think it's Antonio Brown.
For Madden this year? I don't know.
No, I mean the Madden that I've got, Antonio Brown's on the cover.
Oh.
So as a Steeler, so that is a decent maybe 18, 19, 18, 8. Let's say it's 18. Anyway, so I play as sometimes the Bengals, sometimes as the Cardinals, and I always do basically like I cheat. So I either do it where I just go for the trade draft picks, and I put it on the easiest freaking level,
Sure.
like rookie. But if I win the Super Bowl, there is no way to track. So if you did 20 years or 20 seasons, you couldn't look back to say, did I win them or who won them? There's just no record of it. It doesn't. There's nothing. I'm like, why would you have that? So it's just very in the moment, and I don't think it creates this legacy. So there's a game that I got in 1997, and it was Christmas Eve 1997 that my friend across the road copied it on a CD copier and gave me it. And I think this is the first year I haven't played it. In 2021, so how many years is that? I played it for 23 years, and the reason why was it was on MS DOS, and it had all the pictures of the stadiums. This is a soccer game. It was Football Manager. All the pictures. So if you were playing as Man United, when you looked at your squad and it was all text based, in the background it'd be a picture of Old Trafford, and then on the loading screens in between, it was always like kind of telling a story. It was like, you've bid for this player and stuff like that. It wasn't like an inbox. It was just screen after screen and stuff like that. But the functionality was just simple. It was easy. It wasn't overcomplicated. Tactics weren't ridiculous. And you could edit it. It was quite customizable. So I really liked that one.
Yeah.
And then they had a competing brand called FA Premier League Manager, where you could build stadiums. It was more 3D, and you could kind of build training centers and then youth camps in Brazil and China, and it was just really creative. How can you bring in players? Madden doesn't have that, and it's just very flat in terms of how can you grow this. So my focus is around GMs. Well, it's not even just on GMs.
Okay.
There is 3 levels of how you can play this game. So it's PC, one of the big things that you just need it to be licensed. So let's just say it's licensed by the NFL. So you have all the proper pictures, all the proper names, and all that kind of bullshit. Where you're calling
Sure.
it well, that's not a good example. Houston Horns or something like that, or you know what I mean. It would be Houston Cows or something like that. It wouldn't be with the same colours, just playing at the what's the stadium called? Something Energy and
NRG.
NRG. Oh, NRG. It won't be like the LRG Stadium or something like that, where you just kind of just changing it a little bit. It would that's it. So it's licensed. This is licensed. So you have all the cool stuff there. But you have 3 levels that you can choose to play at. You can play as coach, GM, or owner, or the hybrid, which is the Jerry Jones mode, where you play as GM and owner.
Jerry Jones.
So that's the kind of the modes that you can play. Now, if you're a coach, you can start coaching, and you can be a coach of a high school team.
Okay.
So it's like a career mode almost. So you start as a coach as a high school team. You'd put some of the... I mean, ideally, you could do a little bit of a profit share for all these high schools that feature. Obviously, you don't really want the kids' names in there because that feels a little bit weird. So just populate that with random names.
Sure. John Smith.
Unless they are like 18 and they can get some money from it or something like that. So you've got high school and then you've got college. So if you're a high school coach, you could get a job at, say, a D2 team. And then you could get the Clemson job eventually. And then you become the...
Sure.
Or you could even start as like the Steelers head coach or something like that. So you've got all these different modes. But because it starts at high school, it's going to have a hyper focus on scouting. So really looking into these players, at who's coming through, and a lot more of that on the college side as well. So if you scout for college, you've got that in the high schools. Also with things like stadiums, like relocating your franchise. So let's just think, who's a shit franchise that would in a shitty town? I don't know, any of the Florida.
I mean,
Jacksonville.
Buffalo, but yeah. Jackson, yeah, okay.
So let's say Jacksonville. So you could have the option to potentially move the Jags to Austin. And then you're looking at the fan base sizes and stuff like that. So now you're competing divisions. And then you also have, you're electing, or you've kind of got certain say in terms of with Commissioner Gordon and the NFL, like you vote for certain things like that. So it would be more on that.
You're full on football manager mode.
It's football manager. It is a football manager for NFL. So you're not actually ever playing the game. You're not controlling the quarterback. Okay. It's all simulated. So as a GM mode or owner mode, you're hiring the coach and you're giving them budgets and you're doing enough on the background to see how you progress. And you can kind of implement strategies. This is the way that we want to go. You're kind of bringing in the players. Big focus on draft day. Things like that, like training camp. That's where you're kind of really looking at the analytics. So less on the actual playing of the game. It is on the management, where I think sponsorship deals, things like that, commercials, all that you can definitely... I'd go deep into that.
You do the cheerleaders on Football Manager. Pick your cheerleaders as well.
Cheerleader manager. Oh, maybe that's
maybe
a different
not for
game.
The high school level, but for college up.
It's even weird that you said high school level. Why would you be even thinking about that? I'd just be thinking about not even college, Ben. You sick man. Cancelled. Where's my cancelled button?
I was just making sure that we, putting that out there. We're not creeps.
Firstly, you're talking about your trip away with your girlfriend to Indiana, where it's going to be sloppy and potentially fun, and now you're talking about college cheerleaders. No, so cheerleader manager for 21 and above, and you designed the. I'm going to get cancelled here. No, it would be. Probably wouldn't put anything about cheerleaders in, but then you'd have like press conferences and managing that, and then I don't know how deep you'd go into kind of players, as one of their things, like how well do they handle media? Do they have an Antonio Brown moment in them where they could just go off the rails? All that kind of stuff. Now, because of the title of the game, it could go two ways. You could keep it really easy. NFL Manager, EA Sports, NFL Manager, or the GM of the Arizona Cardinals is called Steve Keim. You could only call it. You could call it Keim Time, or Keim Manager.
I don't know. I like Keim Time.
Keim Time.
Keim Time. It's Mickey, but I think it might work.
Keim Time. And it'd be him on the front. Like that with his with his suit, his red tie, his beautiful shiny bald head, looking serious.
Yes.
With Cliff Kingsbury as one of those smaller versions in the foreground, and then maybe Kyler throwing the ball. If this was a YouTube, if we did this more on YouTube, I'd probably make a mock-up of what that image would look like.
Do you stick figure drawings?
Keim Time. And I'd probably do a light version just to get, but not kind of in-app purchases, none of that bullshit.
Oh, Lord.
I hate that stuff. So less on the visuals, less on the playing of that, but it's more of the management, the training centers, Stage and Builder. I fucking love Stage and Builder. Like, Stage and Builder games are so cool.
You could take that out, you take that out if you want to build not like just the stadium, but like the practice fields and like the offices and XYZ. Like, what does it actually look like when you guys travel? Do you have a plane? Are you still going on a rinky-dink bus? Right? Like, all that stuff, you can get pretty deep in there depending on like how strategy or like how in depth you wanted to go.
Yeah. Oh, I think there's
which could be interesting.
Agents, dealing with agents.
Yeah, so agents.
I think that would be in there. So that was I think I'm just thinking if there's anything else. Yeah, the last kind of footnote that I had on this is I bought a game called Axis, AXIS, which is the closest thing that I found to this, and it's obviously not licensed. So, and the guys do it on a shoestring budget. It's not bad for that, but you kind of it's a hybrid between you can still play the game on a PC, or it's a little bit of management and scouting. Like, you have X amount of scouting budget per turn that you put into plays, and that's kind of taken off the NFL as well. I feel like they do that model. So, but anyway, Keim Time. That's my pitch for the NFL competing game, or the Madden competitor.
Lovely.
But before I want to hear yours, this isn't a paid advertisement, and this isn't even a fictitious advertisement. But I tell you what, just kind of a bit of a shout out, because it is coming very close to college football and NFL gambling and stuff like that, and kind of where we get our best bets. If you're going to like kind of FanDuel or Kings, what's the other one? DraftKings and FanDuel, right? Those are kind of the two main ones. Because we haven't been able to do it legally in Arizona or Colorado, I was doing these legal offshore sites where you didn't put it into crypto. But I still think it's a good way.
Website. Yep.
But if you are earning decent money from your winnings, let's just say you're up $100, $200 at the end of the season. Put it into crypto. I still think there is. I mean, I watch crypto now, and there's one similar to that Dogecoin. I'm backing Shiba Inu, which is a very similar type of coin. And there's like numerous articles out there, and if you can get it, I use Crypto.com and Coinbase, but if you can get on there and get it on, so I now have something like 27 million Shiba Inu coin. That means like $230. But they talk in 5 years, if it goes up 20% every month, it will get to $1.
If.
Oh, big if. But even if it gets to 50 cents, which a lot of these coins do, it's a huge amount of money. It's worth a chance. So I'm gonna go in and kind of put it at, say, $1,000, I'm going to put all my winnings in there and get up to $1,000, let's say, because
you're
it's
finally
not
closing the circle as to why you brought up crypto. Take all of your winnings and put it straight into there and see what happens.
Yeah, and just like it's not my. I don't. And again, if you are betting, and we are going to have in the episodes when, as we move forward in the season, they're going to be a lot more in real time. We're going to Tuesday. We're going to do them on Tuesdays. They're going to be released on Tuesdays, so they're going to be very live and current. So I think when we do have that, you'll be able to see with these betting. So yeah, just think about it as, if you're not bothered about where this money goes, you've won it, right? It's not like you've earned it and you're gonna. I mean, sure, you'll be pissed, but Shibu Inu is my tip, or at least a coin that is 10 decimal places down the way, because it's only can go up in
one of the baby ones. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's my shout out. Sorry. Oh, maybe okay. Fictitious. Cam Newton Cigar Lounge in Charlotte. If you go on Thursday nights, it is hat night, and if you go in a hat, you will get 20% off all cocktails and cigars. So Cam Newton Cigar Lounge in Charlotte is having 20% off all cigars if you go in wearing a hat. Use the code British Football Guy for a further 5% off. Fucking Cam Newton.
Do you think about these, or did you think about these beforehand, or is that just all off the cuff?
No, that one was off the cuff. Sometimes I used to think about them a bit more.
You think about,
Not honestly, not that one. But Cam Newton did say he had an interview when they had a preseason game against Washington, and said, "Oh, Chase Young, kind of got you." Said, "What do you think? Is it?" It was a lot smaller than I thought he would be. And then he kind of lowered his voice like, no, that is a joke. That is a joke. Don't take it out. And I was like, nice. That's not the kind of the crazy weird Cam. That was quite witty. All right.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm going to hand over. So compete with Keim Time. What have you got?
Keim Time. All right. So you and me clearly enjoy different things when it comes to sports games.
You like cheerleaders from high school?
No. I like actually playing the game. I like a little bit of what you put in there, but I still like spending my time actually like playing the sport in the game instead of like doing the management aspect of it. And one of the reasons I actually don't play a lot of sports games outside of, well, now I'm playing PGA Tour, the 2K one that just came out. I think it came out this year, because I used to play Tiger Woods until he lost that with EA Sports, and then there was Rory. But I stopped playing a lot of the NFL games or even the NCAA games. I didn't play a lot of the basketball ones. I just never got into those ones. But the NFL ones, because all my other friends they'd find the 2 or 3 plays that you could select every time to score, and no matter what you did, you were fucked, for the lack of a better term, and it's just not fun for me. And I found a lot of the times I didn't want to play those games on my own. Like, you'd always want to play against somebody. Or occasionally the only time I would play on my own would be if the Packers were playing that weekend, I'd play their matchup in the game just to get in the zone, right? Can we do it? Yeah, we can. If you get beat by a computer, then you just don't tell anybody that happened. But those games I played for a little while. But that's why I would like to take mine back a step. Did you ever get to play? It was on N64, Ollie. You probably wouldn't have heard of it until you came over here, but it was called NFL Blitz.
No.
And it was kind of a ridiculous take on football. It was licensed, so it did have all the right players and the teams on it. But the way that you tackled people was basically WWE wrestling moves in the middle of the pitch or the field, sorry. And the first down marker was 20 yards instead of 10 yards in the game, because the people could basically jump over anything, or they could they could throw the ball so far as well. It's just a great game. And about 3 or 4 seconds after every play, you could keep ground pounding the player that you tackled, just over and over again. There was something just very fulfilling and funny about the way that the graphics looked on it and everything. So it's kind of the original version of NFL Street, or the other the soccer street game as well.
Mm-hmm. It looks
But I
like
want to bring
Tekken.
this back.
It looks like
I mean,
Tekken.
it's an old game. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an old game, so the graphics are a little bit interesting, but I'd like to bring that back because you could have some crazy plays as well because you could just lateral the ball wherever you wanted or just kind of do whatever. And you have most insane score lines to games as well because it's all about scoring points. And, like, if you did go get a sack or something, that was awesome as well. But I want to bring that kind of excitement and just, like, unruliness back to the game. Where it's just kind of like, it's not the most realistic thing, but that's not why you're playing it. You're playing it for a laugh and because, like, it's still the Packers versus the Bears. And instead of Favre throwing the ball like when I first played the game, it'd be Aaron Rodgers doing the same stuff now, just doing, basically you can do 50-yard bombs like there's no reason, right? If you try to do it in Madden right now, you'd have to sit there and it takes 3 minutes to throw the freaking ball down the field. But it was great back then. The only thing I would want to probably implement in there is I almost couldn't figure out if I wanted to do XFL or NFL. So what I would do is I'd actually just do like a team of XFL like coaches and commissioner. We would do The Rock as the commissioner just for the sake of the podcast and who we've had there. And then put Commissioner Gordon on the other side with all the NFL coaches and just watch the coaches bust it out. Like, what was there's an old show on Cartoon
MTV.
like Celebrity Fight, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
So do like a little bit of Celebrity Deathmatch with all of the famous coaches and people you'd actually recognize on teams as well.
Like a bonus level.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so great. Duking it out against the commissioners or the coaches that you just absolutely hated.
So you've got The Rock
sounds like a very
versus
game, but it's great.
Commissioner, what was it? I call him Commissioner Gordon. What's his full name? Goodell.
Yeah,
So
it's Goodell.
The Rock
Roger
versus Commissioner Goodell. Nice. Fair.
Yes. But it'd be great fun and hilarious. It's basically more of a party game than anything.
Yeah. Do you think with where society is right now and with concussion protocol, this thing would fly?
Absolutely.
I guess WWE.
They make a new Tekken game every year. They make WWE games. You can play the UFC games, boxing games.
Sure.
Or not boxing, but the UFC ones. If I can't have a little bit of fun and have some like good fictitious wrestling and mixed with NFL, I'm just thinking about the highlight reels you could make off of a game like that.
So
just like doing a 40-yard bomb coming out of nowhere, then just absolutely pummeling the wide receiver, interception, take it all the way back to the other end. Great.
Would you have like any other features? Let's just say you got 2 touchdowns without a response. The ball is now on fire. If the other person tries to intercept it, their hands just blow off it. What else would you add to this version of it?
Oh, there's definitely that stuff mixed in. There was some of that mixed into like the first game, not where your hands blow off, but like you start getting on fire and the ball starts going faster and quicker. There were also things you could do beforehand, like as the game loads, like little cheat code things. You had like 30-second window while it loads to put it in. Big head mode. I would have that as a standard mode. Big head mode. You can't go wrong with big head mode. It's the best.
So what platform? Still a Nintendo?
Oh, I'd bring this everywhere. I want everybody playing it. Put it on the phone if you want. Put it on the phone. I want to see everybody playing this game and just actually having a laugh.
Okay, what's it called?
That's a good question. I didn't get that far yet. Not the best with like creative names, but I need to play on words on the concussion protocol that you just brought up.
NFL Royale or something like that, or Concussion Zone.
Just like that. Do the EA Sports Concussion Zone now.
EA Sports Concussion Zone. Get in the zone. Concussion Zone.
Just rip off anybody else. Yes, I love it. Cool. That would be mine. Now, what if we did a mash, and that was how you actually played each game of your manager game?
So mine, a deadly serious.
You have to spend a lot of money.
Balance sheets, all this, and then so you put all that in, and then you have
You do it all.
fireballs.
Fucking big head mode. Done. Just ruined your entire scouting report.
It's like I've spent 3 years tracking this kid. Now he's got big head mode.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. No, I tell you what. So it's kind of round off on this. I remember when Rocket League came about. That was free,
Yes.
that started out being free, didn't it? And the level of
Still free.
oh, it is nice.
No, I think actually you do need to pay for it, but you don't need to pay for anything else. It's just like skins or like you can buy different looking cars in the game. But for the most part, I think it's still like $20 in most places.
Because Rocket League was pretty
It's cheap.
yeah. It was really good how they put it together. Just the gameplay, and I think it is that ease to getting into something. I wonder if they could ever do anything like that with NFL, where you just take a different view on it. I mean, maybe you could do cars. You have like RVs
Maybe.
as your offensive line.
I don't.
Wide
think it
receivers
would.
are like
I don't think it
motorbikes.
would. Yeah, little things that the Tata used to make. Little Tata machines as well. Little like 3-wheel trike things.
Oh yeah. That'd be good. They could be the
Put
running
those
backs.
in there. Yeah.
Or tanks.
These are great.
Tanks could be
Get
offensive
Get
line.
a semi.
Wait.
Just get a couple semis lined up. Sorry, this is a British football guy. Sorry, lorries. What do you guys call them?
Lorry, that's right. Okay, well that may be a third game.
Yeah,
We'll put that out.
Rocket League was really good.
Rocket League would be good. We'll put that out as Lorry League can be the. All right, okay. Let's close this one up. I don't know what we'll figure out what we're talking about next time, but we'll probably do another. We've been talking about doing the movie one, the greatest sporting movies to watch, but we're also getting very, very close to the season. So, yeah, we'll have a think about it. But thanks for being back on this one, Ben. And let us know your thoughts on the Facebook group, Reddit, or email us in terms of which game you'd be most likely to buy. I will put a poll out there just to see who would have any takers on Concussion Zone or Keim Time.
Or lovely.
All right, mate. I will speak to you soon.
Appreciate it.
Bye.